fielder number 36 from Oklahoma State, Tim Arakawa. Betting second, the second baseman from Wichita State, number 18, Chase Simpson. Batting third from Dallas, Texas, your first baseman from the UTA Mavericks, number 29, John Michael Twitchell. Batting cleanup, the right fielder from Cal Poly, St. Louis Obispo, number 27, Zach Zahner. The shortstop from the Saddleback College Gauchos, number 12, Josh Fuentes. Your Moondogs, and they're having the first, one run on 2 hits, no errors, one error, excuse me, and one left on base. After one complete, your Moondogs lead 1-0. It's the top of the second. Moondog fans leading off this half inning from the Oklahoma City Stars in Anaheim, California. Please welcome number 24, Jonathan Rodriguez. Batting seventh, your catcher from Washington Peay State University, number 33, Matt Wollensen. Cordova. At the plate, Christian Liao. The left fielder from Oklahoma State, originally from Honolulu, Hawaii, number 36, Tim Arakawa. For your Moondogs in their half inning, no runs on one hit, no errors, and two left on base. After two complete, your Moondogs lead 1-0. It is time for the tractor race presented by Kimball Equipment. Let's send it down.
The Fan.
Back to Franklin Rogers Park here at AM 1230, The Fan, Mankato, online at MankatoMoondogs.com. Also streaming on iHeartRadio this evening and online at NorthwoodsLeague.tv, courtesy of YouTube. We apologize for the technical difficulties earlier. Back up and running now on YouTube. You should have audio coming through your screen for the rest of the day here this evening. We're glad you're able to join us and stick with us throughout the night so far as the Moondogs currently hold a 1-0 lead over the Wilmer Stingers here into the bottom half of the third inning. John Michael Twitchell will bat second this inning, but it's Chase Simpson to lead things off for the Moondogs, already with a double and a run scored today. It'll be Simpson, Twitchell, and Zahner, the scheduled trio of batters here in the third inning. John for the Moondogs retired the first 8 batters he faced tonight before giving up a 2-out single in the third inning to Brian Olson. First pitch now from Wick back on the hill to Chase Simpson. Misses for a ball, and Simpson ready to go from the left side. Wick into the windup will deliver home. A swing and a miss from Simpson, and that evens the count at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1-0 your score here in the bottom of the third. 1 run on 3 hits today for the Moondogs. No runs on just 1 hit for the Stingers, and they've already committed an error in the field today. The right-hander kicks and delivers home as that pitch misses outside. And going back to the error there, charged to left fielder Mark Flores earlier in the day. It's a very rare error for the Wilmer Stingers. They're the second best defensive team in the Northwoods League this season, posting a .969 fielding percentage. Only the Lakeshore Chinooks in the South Division have been a better defensive team this year. With that .969 fielding percentage, the Stingers have turned 42 double plays while committing 57 errors. Mankato right behind them with a .966 fielding percentage, 39 double plays turned, and 64 errors committed this season. Simpson watches this pitch get in for a strike knee high on the outside corner, and it rides the count full now at 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Simpson working his first full count of the day here now as he steps back into the left-handed batter's box. Again, got a 1-out double back in the first inning, scoring the lone run of the day for Mankato. This pitch gets lifted back foul to the net behind home plate. Another good crowd for the Moondogs. Last weekend, the Dogs didn't have a crowd less than 1,200 on any of the 3 nights they hosted a game. The last home game for the Moondogs, another good crowd, 1,232, averaging just over 1,100 fans per game this season. The Moondogs packing the stands behind home plate. The dog pound down the left field line is rocking this evening, and the Realty Executive Loft has a nice group up there as well. All in all, a great night for baseball with the temperature at 80 degrees at first pitch this evening with winds out of the northwest at 3 miles an hour. As Simpson fights off a pitch here to stay alive now at 3-2. Now he'll ask for time in the left-handed batter's box. And get back to work here against Wick. Wick going into the windup now as the right-hander stares home. The leg kick and the delivery. Line over the second baseman's glove and into right field. That nearly was taken down out of the air by second baseman Jake Gronsky. He went up and gave it a heck of an effort, but Simpson found enough muscle to shoot it into right field. His second hit of the day. Halfway to the cycle in 2 at-bats for Chase Simpson with a single and a double. He was a triple shy of the cycle in his last home game here earlier on this week. He's been swinging a good bat lately for the Moondogs heading into this All-Star break weekend. John Michael Twitchell now to the plate, lined out on a hard shot to the shortstop back in the first inning. He's in the left-handed batter's box now with a man on and nobody out. First pitch, Twitchell fouls it back to Brian Olson behind home plate. The catcher drops it as the count moves to 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. Wick with 37 pitches so far today, 26 strikes, 11 balls. Comes set again. The right-hander will deliver it on home. Here's the pitch. Upstairs, and that'll miss to even the count at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out. 1 run on 4 hits already today for the Moondogs. Wick towing the rubber with his right foot on the mound as he stares home. Working mostly from the left side of the pitching rubber as he comes set. Right-hander stalling here. Still stalling, and now Twitchell asks for time. Count stays even at 1-1 here for John Michael Twitchell, with Simpson standing at first base. Not really a threat to steal for the Moondogs, although he does have a couple stolen bases in 2013. Pitch on the way to the second-year Moondog. Twitchell swung on and missed, and he now sits in a 1 ball, 2 strike count. Nobody out so far, with a run on 4 hits today for the Moondogs. Simpson stands at first after the leadoff single. Twitchell at the plate. Zach Zahner due up already with a run batted in today. 1-2 count coming up to Twitchell now as he awaits the Wick offering. Here's the right-hander's delivery. Outside and high. They expected Simpson to take off, and he took a couple hard steps but holds off. The pitch out didn't quite work as the count evens up now at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 40 pitches on the day now for Wick as he sets. Still looking for an out here in the third inning as Simpson gets back standing up on a pickoff attempt over to first. Wick playing a cat and mouse game with the Moondogs. Not only is Simpson at first base, but also with Twitchell. Now ready to work here again. The 2-2 pitch coming home. Wick delivers with the slide step, and Twitchell hits a hard line drive on a ground ball base hit into right field. Simpson advances up a base to second. Some station-to-station work now for the Moondogs as Zach Zahner comes to the plate with 2 men on. Zahner got himself an RBI single into left field back in the first inning, and the ball was dropped by left fielder Mark Flores, resulting in the first and only error today for the Stingers. That allowed Zahner to go all the way from first to third. And the Moondogs ultimately left Zahner stranded at third base, ending the inning a batter later. But now he comes to the plate with nobody out and 2 men on. The right-handed throwing Wick on the mound here, ready to work now as he goes home. 2 runners on with okay speed for the Moondogs. Neither Twitchell or Simpson will wow you with their speed on the base paths, but they're both talented base runners. Twitchell may be a little bit more sneaky with his speed than most. Doesn't look like he'd be a fast guy over there at first, but he definitely possesses some good speed, and if Zahner can move the ball around into the outfield, should be able to score at least 1 here at this at-bat. Right now in an 0-1 count. As Wick comes set, running into a jam here already for the second time today as he delivers home. Zahner lines it down the right field line. That's a fair ball into the corner. Simpson scores easily. Twitchell was off with contact. He's around third. The throw coming back into the plate is not in time. 2-run double for Zach Zahner, his 3rd RBI of the day, and he picks up a double here in his second at-bat of the evening. Now standing at second with nobody out, and the Moondogs already leading 3-0 here at Franklin Rogers Park. 3 straight hits for the Moondogs here in this half inning. That ball was tattooed down the left field line. Twitchell knew it immediately at first base. He was on his horse as soon as contact was made. Was at third base before Simpson had even gotten home. And he was able to score just ahead of the throw from the outfield as Flores got it back into the relay man, but not in time. 3 RBI on the day for Zach Zahner. Maybe an early leader for a potential player of the night category in the Northwoods League as this pitch gets in now to the right-handed hitting Josh Fuentes for a first pitch strike. 83 miles an hour on the knees, and it brings the count to 0-1. Fuentes flew out to center field to end the inning back in the first, batting from the right side now with nobody out and the runner at second. The 0-1 pitch coming home from Wick in a moment as he stares down Zahner at second. Fuentes shoots it into center field. Back on his horse is Brennan. He'll have to race it down. In doing so, goes back deep enough on the fly ball, allowing Zahner to tag up at second and advance to third. First out of the day, but it's a productive out, advancing Zahner 90 feet closer to home. And now it's Jonathan Rodriguez, one of the key hitters for the Moondogs this season. Second on the team in RBI, coming to the plate. 0 for 1 today. Rodriguez flew out to right on a deep fly ball back to kick off the second inning. Fuentes has hit the ball solidly twice today now as the Stingers infield comes in. Right-hander comes set and delivers the pitch. A knee-high strike on the outside corner, and Rodriguez brings the count to 0-1. Stingers bringing their infield in, hoping for a ground ball here to leave Zahner at third base with the 1 out. Anything to the outfield probably scores the speedy Zahner from third. Passed ball, but Zahner won't attempt. The ball got maybe 10, maybe 15 feet away from home plate, and not quite enough to allow Zahner to take the chance on going home on the play. Count evens up now at 1-1 strike here with 1 out. 3-0 your score here in the bottom half of the third. Moondogs got a run in the first, and now 2 more here in the third. Jonathan Rodriguez, the designated hitter today at the plate. From the left-hand side, awaiting the right-handed offering of Andrew Wick. Wick, from the stretch, delivers. Busted bat, shatters, and it splatters across the right side of the infield. Literally shards of wood went flying everywhere near the first base bag. That destroyed his bat, and it also allowed the ball to stay in the infield. If that bat doesn't break, that ball's going to the outfield for sure. Instead, it's a ground ball out on the right side, and now 2 outs on the board with Matt Wallinson coming to the plate. 2 outs after 3 straight singles now, and Matt Wallinson 0 for 1 today with a strikeout, digging in from the left-hand side. Here's the pitch on the way home. First pitch dribbled to the left side of the infield. The third baseman has it. Kuhn picks it up, fires to first. Low throw, but Alamanderas is there. Nice stretch of the bag, and it ends the inning. 2 more runs score for the Moondogs on the RBI double from Zach Zahner. And Mankato now leads 3-0 heading into the fourth at Franklin Rogers Park. We'll be back with more in a moment right here on AM.
Mankato.
Back to Franklin Rogers Park here in the bottom half of the fourth inning with Andrew Wick starting his warm-up tosses on the mound now. Let's take a quick look around the out-of-town board on NorthwoodsLeague.com. A lot of games going on around the Northwoods League here this evening, and right now, all games are active. In fact, the game at Mayo Field will be getting underway in about 4 minutes, actually, as the Rochester Honkers take on the Waterloo Bucks, and the Moondogs will be keeping a big eye on that game tonight, with the Bucks leading the second half standings by 2 games over the Mankato Moondogs here this evening. Some other North Division scores: Duluth and Thunder Bay scoreless heading into the top of the second. St. Cloud, who's a game behind Mankato, holding on to a 4-0 lead over the Alexandria Blue Anchors in the bottom of the third. We'll get you some South scores in just a short bit. But right now, the Moondogs back to the plate with Cordova, Leal, and Arakawa all back to work here in this half inning. Wick delivers home to Cordova, who was hit by a pitch. And back in his first at bat, Wick comes and buzzes the tower on the right side to Cordova. Doesn't hit the Moondogs batter, but Cordova took exception to that, staring out at Wick after the pitch. The 1-0 offering on the way. Line dribbler knocked down by the second baseman. He rises to his feet, fires, and retires Cordova. Nice play there by the second baseman, Jake Gronsky, to put the first out on the board here in the fourth. That ball gets hit maybe just a little bit harder. It scoots out into center field, but because of the grass slowing down the baseball, Cordova is thrown out on a 4-3 put out for the first out of the inning. One up, one down. Christian Leal, the 9-hole hitter, 1 for 1 today for the Moondogs at the plate. Swings and tips this pitch foul back to the catcher. Brings the count to 0-1. Some South Division scores for you. At Whittier Field in Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin, right now in the bottom of the fourth inning, it's the visiting Lakeshore Chinooks up 1-0 over the Rapids Rafters. The Wisconsin Woodchucks at home in Wausau today at Athletic Park, leading the Madison Mallards 3-2. Battle Creek at home today at C.O. Brown Stadium in the top of the fourth inning, leading 1-0 over the Eau Claire Express. And yet to get underway tonight at Joanna Stadium in Green Bay, the Bullfrogs taking on the La Crosse Loggers at 7:05. This pitch, a swing and a miss from Lee Allen. It brings the count now to a ball and 2 strikes. One out on the board, base is empty. Here's the pitch home. Lined over the shortstop's head into center field. Leal with his second hit of the day. He rounds first, and the Moondogs have a man on base as we round it back to the top of the order now. 2 trips through the order for the Moondogs. They've got 3 runs on the board, 7 hits. And now in the bottom half of the fourth inning, it'll bring Tim Arakawa to the plate for his third plate appearance here today. He's 0 for 2 so far, flew out to center and grounded out to short. Digs into the batter's box now with Leal at first base. Leal's got decent speed over there at first. Headed to Maryland in the fall, out of Yavapai. He, Arakawa, and Rodriguez, all Moondogs, at one time were teammates down at Yavapai. Now teammates here in Mankato in the 2013 season. Leal over at first will take his lead here now after the first pitch foul ball to Arakawa. Leal with 4 stolen bases in 6 attempts this season. Takes a big lead at first. Pickoff attempt going to first, not in time as he gets back with the head first slide. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out, 3-0 your score. No runs on 2 hits, 1 error so far today for the Stingers. 3 runs on 7 hits, no errors for the Moondogs. Here's the pitch home as Leal takes off. Arakawa shoots it into left field. That'll drop in front of Flores. Now it gets away from the left fielder. Leal goes to third. The throw going to third, and Arakawa will advance to second and gets in standing up. Moondogs getting some help out and out the outfield today for the Wilmer Stingers, with Mark Flores committing potentially his second error of the game. They haven't put it up as of yet. It would have left Arakawa at first and second. It was a hit for sure for Arakawa, but it should be the second error of the day. Should be an error, I believe, on the left fielder. And they'll get it up on the board. E7, his second today. Arakawa stands at second base. Leal at third. Back-to-back singles for the Dogs after the first out of the inning. And now Chase Simpson coming to the plate from the left-hand side. Infield moves in a couple steps, not quite all the way in on the infield grass. But still playing in, trying to keep that ball in the infield as this pitch misses low and outside. With the power of Chase Simpson at the plate, it's hard to keep your defense drawn in. He's got over 20 extra base hits this season, 11 doubles, 8 home runs, and 2 triples to go along with his team-leading 37 runs batted in. Simpson today is single, a double, and 2 runs scored, yet to drive in a run as the pitch comes home. Strike on the outside corner, knee high, and that'll bring the count even at 1-1. A lot of pitches for Wick so far, over 3 and a third innings, I should say. Wick currently sitting at 59 pitches on the day. This will be pitch number 60 as he comes home to Chase Simpson. Check swing from Simpson. He went too far around on the breaking ball, couldn't quite commit to it, and now falls behind 1-2. That's the 42nd strike thrown today by Andrew Wick. 18 balls, 60 total pitches. 1-2 now, the count to the left-handed hitting Chase Simpson. The right-hander gets his sign. Here's the pitch home. Outside and high, and that brings the count even at 2-2. Two men on, 1 out for the Moondogs, and a 2-2 pitch coming home to Simpson. Bounces in front of home plate. That'll miss for a ball to ride the count to 3-2. 3-0 Moondogs with the lead right now here at Franklin Rogers Park. Few dark clouds moving over the area, but overall a beautiful day for baseball. Temperature in the low 80s. Drop down into the high 70s by the end of the evening. As Wick stares in at home again. Payoff pitch coming home to Chase Simpson. Runners at second and third. Here's the right-hander's offering. Line towards the second baseman, into right field, a base hit. 1 run scores. Arakawa around third. The throw to the plate is offline. Simpson goes to second. The throw there is late. And the Moondogs will get 2 more runs on the RBI single from Chase Simpson, who once again does his little shimmy at second base. First 2 runs batted in today for Simpson, his second single of the day, and he's now 3 for 3. Advanced on to second on the throw. 9th hit overall today for the Moondogs. They lead 5-0. And so far have outscored the Stingers in 2 games out of this 3-game series. Now 17-4. Just thumping the Stingers on what is arguably the most important series to date this season for either team. If the Stingers could have won 2 out of 3 or even swept the Moondogs, they could have basically wrapped up the hopes for Mankato making the playoffs, other than Mankato somehow winning the second half championship. But right now the Moondogs all of a sudden getting back into contention, and if the Dogs can win tonight and tomorrow, would be just a half game behind the Wilmer Stingers for the second best record in the Northwoods League's North Division. So these games are incredibly important here as Twitchell digs back in. This will be his 3rd plate appearance of the day. 1 for 2 so far with an RBI single and a run scored back in the 3rd. Simpson stands at second. Both Leal and Arakawa have already scored this inning in the 4th, and it's now 5-0 as Wick delivers. Pitch on the outside corner, a knee-high strike, and it gets in to bring the count to 0-1. Twitchell lined out sharply to the shortstop back in the 1st, got the single and the run scored in the 3rd, now trying to drive in his first run of the day. As the pitch comes home. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Twitchell out in front of the off-speed stuff at 76 miles an hour. So far today for Wick, 3 1/3 innings, 5 runs on 9 hits, no walks, and just 1 strikeout. He's thrown now 65 pitches on the day to the Moondogs. Stingers bullpen hasn't been activated as of yet, but there are a couple men standing around down the left field line now as Twitchell digs back in. Simpson out to a 4-step lead at second. His lead growing with the shortstop backing off as the pitch comes home outside. Twitchell held off on the check swing. And the count will ride now to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Twitch in the batter's box with Zach Zahner due up on deck. Pitch home, lifted in the air, but it's going to get back out of play behind the home plate area. Nice to see Moondogs owner Mark Ogren in attendance tonight in the front row behind home plate. A lot of fans in the stands today here, looking at potentially another crowd of over 1,100 at Franklin Rogers Park. As the right-hander stares in again. Wick gets his sign. Staring down Twitchell here now. Wick gets the sign he wants from his catcher, Brian Olson, ready to work as he checks the runner at second. Here's the pitch coming home. In the dirt, bouncing and back in front of home plate. Doesn't get too far away from catcher Brian Olson, though, and now a 2-2 count coming up here for John Michael Twitchell. Again, Twitchell just 3 home runs shy of tying Sean Cooper for the career home run record in Moondogs history. Twitchell has played in 2 seasons for the Moondogs. Sean Cooper played in just 1, but hit 21 home runs. Twitchell with 19 career home runs. Make that 18, I beg your pardon. Looking for his 19th here. 2-2 pitch on the way with Simpson again growing his lead at second. This ball's hit high and deep down the right field line, but it's going to get out of play. That ball tailed away, but he crushed that one. When he makes contact and gets the barrel on the ball, that ball just jumps off of his bat. That time, well out in front of the pitch inside, but he turned on it quick enough to give it a ride. See what he gets again here. I bet he doesn't get anything high and inside again in this at-bat. 2-2 count coming up for Twitchell. Simpson grows his lead once more at second, and the pitch on the outside corner misses low. Good eye for Twitchell. That's a pitch that's gotten him to chase on a number of occasions this season. But he holds off and now has a full count here at 3-2. Twitchell will get his fair share of strikeouts during the year, but the surprising number is the amount of walks he'll actually generate over the year. 36 strikeouts, but already 25 walks on the year. With Twitchell in just his 25th game in a Moondogs uniform. Pitch on the way home. Inside for ball 4. That'll be his 26th walk of the year. He now stands at first. Simpson at second, and Zach Zahner again. Deja vu for the Stingers here in the 3rd inning. The Moondogs had both Twitchell and Simpson on base with Zahner coming to the plate, and he got himself an RBI double driving in both runs. So far today, Zahner 2 for 2 with 3 runs batted in. Steps into the right-handed batter's box now, ready to go with 1 out. Zahner with 24 RBI on this season. Currently tied with Josh Fuentes for 5th most in the Moondogs offensive lineup. Wick comes set. Bullpen not activated yet for the Stingers here today. Zahner swings through the offering. They're going to at least let Wick, for good or bad, finish this inning. Depending on how much the damage is done in this inning, the Stingers may elect to get an arm rolling, but right now it's up to Andrew Wick to try to end this. They've got the defense at double play depth, and an 0-1 count for Zach Zahner. As the right-hander Wick awaits and now delivers home. Pitch up in the zone. Zahner chases, can't catch up to the 85-mile-an-hour fastball, though, and now finds himself in an 0-2 hole. A ground out, 3 straight singles and a walk brings in 2 runs and has 2 men on now for the Dogs here in this half. 5-0. Zahner at the plate. Fuentes due up on deck with runners at first and second. Simpson, the lead runner at second with okay speed. Twitchell with surprising speed at first as the pitch comes home. Inside and high. They tried to get Zahner to chase something up in the zone again. He doesn't offer this time as the count moves to a ball and 2 strikes. Right-hander ready to go. Now steps off the rubber and looks back at second. Right-hander ready to go again. Now looks home. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Checks the runner at second. Wick's delivery lifted towards the first base dugout, but it gets out of play. Zahner stays alive here as he steps out for a moment. Will readjust his batting gloves. Simpson taking his lead from second again. He stands in scoring position for Zach Zahner, who gets back into the batter's box now with the 1 ball, 2 strike count. Wick desperate for outs here now. He got the first out easily in this half inning with a ground ball out to Ibrahim Cordova in the leadoff spot. Zahner pops this one back out of play again. But then Leal got his second hit of the day. Picked up his first hit of the day. Both were later driven in on the Chase Simpson RBI single. Twitchell walked, putting runners at first and second. And now 1-2 count here for Zach Zahner. Moondogs have scored in 3 of 4 innings today. The only inning they didn't score was in the second, but they had runners at first and third with the inning coming to an end. Right now, the 1-2 pitch coming home from Wick as he checks Simpson at second. Delivers. Zahner can't catch up to the high heat again. He'll strike out. Just the second strikeout of the game for Andrew Wick. 2 outs on the board now in the 4th inning, and that'll bring Josh Fuentes to the plate. Fuentes 0 for 2 today with a couple flyouts to center. He'll dig into the right-handed batter's box now with 2 outs. Mankato up 5-0. Fuentes trying to plate home a run here for the Dogs, already with 2 in the inning. They haven't scored any more than 2 runs in any frame yet today. 1 in the first, 2 in the third, and 2 here in the 4th. Right-hander again as he comes set. And will now spin and check the runner back at second. Not much of a breeze today and a few dark clouds hanging over Franklin Rogers Park right now. That might just be the overall attitude of the Wilmer Stingers, who have been getting it handed to them over these first 2 games of the series between Mankato and the Stingers. As this pitch gets lifted into shallow center field, this could be trouble. Brennan coming in. The ball hangs in the air just long enough for the center fielder to put it away. Moondogs get 2 runs on 3 hits, but will leave 2 men on as we head into the top of the 5th. 5-0 Mankato. Back with more after the break in a moment at AM